After 40, some big changes happen. And I'm not just talking about your body cracking more or not being able to bounce back from a late night as easily. You do really start to realize you're not invincible. But there's also things going on inside your body that you may not realize are happening, but you need to be aware of. Gone are the days of, I'll worry about it later, I'll exercise later, I'll eat better later. Once you reach your 40s, that later is now. Now is when you need to be making some changes that will lower your risk of getting cancer or other illnesses before it's too late. And starting at 40 or even 50 is not too late. Most people don't realize that up to 50% of cancers are preventable. So by the time you hit 40, your daily habits can matter more than your genes. When I started working in cancer treatment back in 2007, I rarely had patients in their 40s. Most cancer patients were in their 60s or 70s. But now I have patients my age or younger every single day. And trust me, you do not want to get cancer. It's awful. The treatments are awful. The side effects are even worse. The recovery sucks. And there's no guarantee that it won't come back someday as metastatic cancer. Now, cancer certainly doesn't develop overnight. In fact, most people have cancer for years before they even find out, before they start having symptoms or it shows up on tests. So the choices you make today can dictate your health in 5 to 10 years from now. Now, I'm not going to be telling you to eat a perfectly clean diet or start running marathons here. I'm going to give you 3 small things you can do that can add up to big changes in your health. And not just for future you, but they'll make you feel better now, give you more energy, better sleep, and better digestion. So let's get into it with number 1, first and foremost, strength training. Lifting weights isn't just for bodybuilders anymore, or those intense guys yelling at the bench press at the gym. More people than ever are doing strength training because we're realizing all of the amazing health benefits we get from it. Like, strength training can lower our cancer risk by up to 60%. That's huge. And this is simply because it helps you build muscle. The more muscle you have, the more energy you have, and the better you feel, right? But it also strengthens your immune system, lowers your blood sugar levels, lowers inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and helps to regulate your hormones. All the things. And since we lose muscle mass with age, it's no wonder that our risk of getting health issues when we get older increases too. So what do I even mean by strength training, and what's the best way to get started? Basically, it just means working your muscles against resistance. That could be lifting some light weights, using resistance bands, or even using your own body weight. Think planks, push-ups, or squats. All of these will help you to build muscle, but what really matters the most is being consistent. So, since you know yourself best, the key is to find something that will help you to build muscle, but also that you know you'll actually do and stick with long term. Maybe you're too busy to exercise for 30 minutes at a time, but what if you break it up into 10-minute blocks? Do a 10-minute YouTube video in the morning, 10 minutes of resistance bands between meetings, and then some planks or dumbbells while you're watching TV at night. It still counts, all of it. Okay, let's move on to number 2, the second thing you can do for cancer prevention after 40, intermittent fasting. You've probably heard of it. You likely have a neighbor or coworker who swears by it, and they're always raving about how much better they feel since they've started. And that's because it works. Not just for weight loss, it can definitely help with that too, but also for your metabolic health. Digesting food uses up a lot of energy, so giving your body a break from digesting means it can focus its energy on repairing itself, lowering inflammation, reducing insulin resistance, a lot of the same benefits that we get from having more muscle. And in terms of cancer prevention, intermittent fasting is a powerful way to enhance something called autophagy. This is your body's way of recycling damaged cells, like precancerous cells, before they turn into cancer. And although it does this on its own, when you're fasting, autophagy really ramps up. I have another video on how to maximize the benefits of autophagy, so I'll link that below for you to watch next. But if you're wondering how long you need to be fasting to ramp up autophagy, honestly, doing the 16-to-8 fasting method can be quite effective, and most people find it easiest to stick with long term. It's where you fast for 16 hours a day and have an 8-hour eating window. So let's say you finish eating dinner by 7 p.m. Instead of reaching for that piece of toast in the morning, try waiting until 11 before you have your first meal. It does get easier with time, so if you find it too hard at first, start slowly with a 14-hour fast until you get used to it and then extend from there. And if you can go longer than 16 hours a day, even better. It'll give your body a little extra time to do its magic with autophagy and keep cancer cells away. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine if you can't manage it some days, but even doing it twice a week or once in a while is better than nothing. Now, if you want some expert level fasting tips, check out Dr. Mindy Pelz on YouTube. She's the real MVP when it comes to fasting, especially for women. She's really big on how fasting can really help to regulate our hormones. Okay, let's move on to number 3. The third thing you can do to significantly lower your cancer risk after 40 is to eat a low-carb diet. Cut back on the refined carbs. Most of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s lived off a diet of Pop-Tarts, sugary cereal, white bread sandwiches, and pizza pops. Back then, barely anyone was talking about the dangers of insulin resistance or inflammation. We just ate what was convenient and popular. And thankfully, we know better now. Now we know that eating too much sugar and refined carbs like white bread or white pasta can do a lot more than just pack on belly fat. They're the main drivers of dangerous metabolic diseases and cancer. And obviously, not all carbs are evil, but it's the type and amount that matter a lot. A low-carb diet doesn't have to mean going full-blown keto. And it certainly doesn't mean you can never enjoy birthday cake or ice cream again. It just means cutting back on junky carbs, like the pizza, the pastries, the croissants, the chips and crackers and candy. And by swapping these out with protein and healthy fats, it'll give your body more energy to work out and help to build muscle without spiking your blood sugar and giving you energy crashes. Instead of having a bagel for breakfast, have some eggs and avocado instead. Or instead of ordering pizza at a restaurant, have the grilled salmon and roasted veggies. As soon as you start doing this, you'll feel it. And honestly, once people make this switch, even just partially, they usually don't go back. As soon as people go low carb or start intermittent fasting, they say the same thing. They have more energy, less brain fog, less bloating, and even better sleep. And bonus, it's a great way to lose belly fat too. And if you're thinking, this all sounds a little too extreme or hard, just try it for a week, and chances are you'll feel better than ever. Especially if you can combine strength training, intermittent fasting, and a low-carb diet, you're gold. However, obviously making too many changes at once can backfire. So rather than obsessing over everything you're eating or killing yourself at the gym, just start gradually making some small changes here and there. For example, do 2 strength training workouts this week. Lift some light weights or do a resistant band workout. Try fasting overnight for 14 hours, stop eating after dinner, and try to hold off on eating breakfast first thing. You can also swap your afternoon muffin for a handful of nuts and some Greek yogurt. And when you hit your 40s, you start to notice it everywhere. Likely your friends or even your favorite influencers are talking more about making healthy changes or tracking their steps. They're reading ingredient labels. They're cutting back on sugar or fast food. They're not waiting for a diagnosis. They're being proactive. And that's what this is all about, prevention. Speaking of which, your friends may also start talking about cancer screening. And some may even get a scary diagnosis. And it's jarring. Suddenly things get real. It makes you really think twice about the late nights, the fast food, the stress you've been brushing off for years, and you really start to wonder what you can do to take better care of yourself. Now, if you're in your 50s and 60s watching this and wondering if it's too late to start making these changes, of course not. It's never too late. We have way more power over our future health than we think. Cancer prevention isn't as much of a mystery anymore. Sure, your genes can play a role in getting cancer, but they're only one part of the equation. And since cancer can take such a long time to develop and show up, what you start doing today can really dictate your health in 5 or 10 years from now. So if you know anyone who could benefit from hearing this too, do them a favor and share it with them. I'm leaving you with a video on intermittent fasting to watch next, and I'll see you next week.